And now I want to hand it over to the President of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. You can beat President Putin. Is Putin ready to talk? I'm not ready to talk to Putin. I'm prepared to talk to any leader who wants to talk, including if Putin called me and wanted to talk.
Happy New Year. Happy 2025. I hope everybody had a good new year, and let's hope for a peaceful, healthy, and happy 2025. And we are going to start the new year with our third annual Clown World of the Year Awards. Clown World of the Year Awards 2024. And this was a very difficult year to pick the best clown worlds, the best clowns of the year. Very, very difficult. The list was extensive. The clowns were many, but I believe that I have picked the top 5 clown worlds of the year 2024. I believe this is a good list, an epic list. And let's jump right into it, because we have a lot of winners to get to. And so how is this going to work? I am going to give some honorable mentions. 8. I've got 8 honorable mentions. Wow. I'm going to list some up and coming clowns that we should look out for in 2025. Newcomers to the clown worlds that could possibly win the award in 2025. I'll give a list of 4 of those, and then we'll get to our locals poll, the People's Choice Awards, which was a poll on the Duran.locals.com, and I will list off their top 5 Clown World of the Year 2024 picks. And then we are going to get into the main event, the main event that everyone has been waiting for the past year. Everyone's been waiting for this. The top 5 Clown Worlds of the year 2024. And then I'm going to leave this video. I'm going to exit this video with the Clown World Moment. This is a new category in this awards show. The Clown World Moment of 2024. And let me just tell you, it is amazing. The Clown World Moment is perhaps the best, the greatest Clown World moment in all of Clown World history. And that is how we are going to close out this awards show. So let's begin with the honorable mentions. Now, she won the whole thing in 2023. And she started off really strong this year. But she started off strong, and she faded. She faded as the year went along. She didn't make many clown worlds. And she went silent, actually, and she faded out. And the honorable mention, the first honorable mention, goes to Annalena 360, Foreign Minister of Germany, Annalena Baerbock. She started off very strong. In February, she went to Odessa, and she had that moment where allegedly a Russian drone was chasing her and Bild reporters that were accompanying her on this trip to Odessa. And according to Bild and their reporting, Annalena saved all of the reporters from a Russian drone. in her very, very posh, very expensive high heels as they were running away from the drone. Annalena saved everybody, and she was a hero in Odessa, according to Bild. But that was her big. That was one of her big clown world moments for 2024. The second half of the year, she was pretty silent, to be quite honest. The second honorable mention goes to John Kirby. John Kirby. He made many clown worlds. He made many opening video segments. Many opening video segments of Kirby speaking to the media. He went on and on about Russian human wave tactics, about North Korean human wave tactics. He really went deep into the whole North Korean troops in Kursk narrative and propaganda. So he is worthy of an honorable mention. John Kirby. Number 3, Salome Zurabichvili. Salome Zurabichvili, the former president of Georgia, who did not want to leave the president's office. So she was quiet, silent for the first half of 2024, and then things really started to heat up. In Georgia, we had a regime change, a color revolution attempt from the collective West, and Salome Zurabichvili, she was leading the color revolution in Georgia, trying to remove Georgia Dream. It started with the NGO foreign agents law, and then it went to the elections, and eventually the new president was voted in, and Salome Zurabichvili refused to step aside. She refused to step down. She even refused to physically leave the president's office. But when the time came and the new president was inaugurated just a couple of days ago, Salome left the building. So she definitely gets an honorable mention. And we will see if she reappears in 2025. Number 4 is Boris Johnson. He absolutely deserves an honorable mention. And I believe, if I remember correctly, Boris Johnson is the first winner of the Clown World Awards in 2022. He was Clown of the Year, a well-deserved Clown of the Year. And he's been making the list every single year. Every single year, Boris Johnson is making the list. He's either the top 5 clown or he's an honorable mention. And this year, Boris Johnson, though he held no office, had no political position, he delivered many clown worlds, mostly in the form of these very short 20 to 30 second TikTok videos where he was talking about more escalation in Ukraine.
Ukraine falls, it will be a catastrophe for the West. It will be the end of Western hegemony, and we will have no one to blame but ourselves.
He also revealed that, well, at least Tucker Carlson revealed that Boris Johnson wanted $1 million for an interview. $1 million is what Boris Johnson wanted, so that Tucker could ask him if he was indeed the person who sabotaged the 2022 ceasefire deal between Russia and Ukraine. Was that you, Boris Johnson? Did you really fly to Kiev and sabotage that ceasefire deal that would have saved hundreds of thousands of lives? That was the question that Tucker wanted to ask, and Boris Johnson wanted $1 million for that interview, but he put out a ton of 30-second TikTok videos making a complete fool of himself. Boris Johnson gets an honorable mention. And where are we at? Number 5 on the list of honorable mentions. Neocon Nikki. Neocon Nikki Haley. I forgot that there was a campaign on the Republican side of things for the presidential elections in 2024 in the United States. And Nikki Haley, she believed that she could become president of the United States. And boy, did she run a disaster campaign. What a disaster campaign from Nikki Haley. Who can forget the moment in the debates? Trump was not appearing in these debates. He didn't need to appear in these debates, but who can forget the moment when Vivek asked Nikki Haley if she could name the three, what did he say, the 3 or the 4 regions in the Donbass for which Nikki Haley wants to escalate and go to war against Russia for. And the look on Nikki Haley's face is just priceless, absolutely priceless. She was completely clueless, absolutely clueless. And she had a whole bunch of mini scandals, social media mess ups. There was the one time when her social media team, they schedule their ex posts to go out for the week. So they use something like TweetDeck or something like that, one of those programs which schedules your tweets to go out. And her social media team, they messed up and they and they released all of the ex posts at once. You had like 50 posts going up on Nikki Haley's official Twitter X profile, her account going up at one time. Nikki Haley absolutely deserves an honorable mention, but she doesn't make the top 5 because, well, after the elections were over, she appeared every now and then in a Clown World segment, but she wasn't very active in the second half of the year. Number 6, honorable mention, goes to Ursula van der Pirate. Ursula van der Pirate. Yeah, who could forget the speech that she made where she announced that the European Union is now going to pre-bunk fake news and disinformation. Ursula. She delivered many clown worlds.
Because research has shown that pre-bunking is much more successful than debunking.
But just not enough. Not enough to give her a spot in the top 5. The competition, very fierce this year for the clown worlds. Hey, buddy. Oh, don't be scared. Enjoy your day. I don't want to frighten the cat. He's enjoying his time in Limassol, Cyprus. What would a video be without, one of my videos be without our friends, the beautiful, very friendly Limassol cats. All right, let's push on here. And where are we at? I think we're at number 7 for honorable mentions. Yeah, number 7. Oh, he almost made the top 5. Man, it was close. It was really, really close. But he couldn't, there just wasn't enough Clown World material, like pure Clown World material to land the Pirate Schultz in the top 5. Yes, he has destroyed Germany. He has deindustrialized Germany for Zelensky. And for Project Ukraine, he has demolished and deindustrialized his entire country. And yes, he is the pirate. He is the Pirate Schultz. He had to announce snap elections because things were going so terribly wrong for the pirate. He was trying to blame everything on Russia. Russia cut off the gas. That's what he was going with. It wasn't Nord Stream. It wasn't us. and our sanctions. No, it was Putin who woke up one day and decided to just cut off the gas to Germany. That is why we are deindustrializing. And then he tried in 2024. He tried to blame Nord Stream on Poland. Oh, the pirate Schultz. He tried to actually blame the whole Nord Stream thing on Poland. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to get him to the top 5, but he absolutely gets an honorable mention. The pirate Schultz. And at number 8, to finish off with the honorable mentions, the list would not be complete without Blinkety Blinken. Antony Blinken, the worst, the absolute worst diplomat we have ever seen, without a doubt. Blinken proved to be the worst Secretary of State, the worst diplomat for 2024. No doubt about it. Antony Blinken. Many speeches from Antony Blinken talking about as long as it takes, talking about Ukraine's inevitable path into NATO. He completely destroyed, messed up the Middle East. Every trip that he made, whether it was to Europe or whether it was to the Middle East, was a disaster. An absolutely terrible Secretary of State, Antony Blinken.
Ukraine will become a member of NATO. Our purpose at the summit is to help build a bridge to that membership.
So he also gets the final spot in our honorable mentions. So let's, all the cats have come out now. You see, they got to celebrate the new year as well. Let's talk about our up-and-coming clowns. These are the clowns, the clown world of the years for 2025 that I think have the most hope. I really am expecting big things from these leaders. I think we're going to see some incredible clown world moments from these leaders. And let's begin with stunning and brave Kaja Kallas. Stunning and brave Kaja Kallas, who is now the new foreign minister, the top diplomat for the European Union. She has some very big clown world shoes to fill because she has taken over for one of the clown world all-stars. I mean, this clown world all-star, this guy, he is the Mickey Mantle of clown world leaders. Jungle Joseph Borrell. He's the Messi of clown world leaders. He is an all-star. Jungle Joseph Borrell, and Kaja Kallas is going to have to take over for Jungle Joseph. Will she be able to deliver the epic clown worlds that Jungle Joseph delivered? Time will tell. Time will tell. But she made some clown worlds in 2024. I remember the clown world where she started to threaten China. We have tools. We have ways to punish China. We need to punish China as the European Union because they are funding Putin's war machine. And it's not enough to just place sanctions on Chinese companies. The European Union must punish, she said, China. Kaja Kallas. Expect big things from the former Prime Minister of Estonia. I am expecting very big things in 2025. I'm expecting very big things in 2025 from Mark Rutte, because in 2024, he was named the new chief of NATO. He took over for Stoltenberg. And Mark Rutte, He did not disappoint in 2024. Towards the final months of the year, towards the last month of 2024, Rutte delivered an epic video Clown World, where he talked about the NATO member states in Europe giving up their pensions, giving up their social benefits, so that the money can go to NATO. Mark Rutte is going to make many, many clown worlds in 2025.
On average, European countries easily spend up to a quarter of their national income on pensions, health and social security systems. We need a small fraction of that money to make our defenses much stronger and to preserve our way of life.
And the final, no, not the final, the third. We got two more. The third up-and-coming clown that we need to keep an eye out for. Someone who I believe can actually win in 2025. He came very close to making the top 5. And if I didn't place him in the up-and-coming clowns list, I would have placed him in the honorable mentions, but boy, did he come close to making the top 5 Clown World of the Year list. But he just wasn't as consistent as the other top 5 Clown World leaders. And I'm talking about Keir Starmer, the new Prime Minister of the UK, who made so many clown worlds. So boring. Keir Starmer, so freaking boring. The most boring politician in the world. But boy, did he have some major screw-ups in 2024. You want to talk about a prime minister getting off to a bad start? Well, hold my beer, says Keir Starmer. You thought Sunak was bad? Starmer puts Sunak to shame. I am telling you. He had that gaffe where he talked about sausage, the sausage gaffe speech. He was trying to arrest people. He may have, actually, I believe he successfully went after people who reposted, retweeted, liked posts that went against the government narrative. And then he had the huge scandal about his clothes and his wardrobe. For him and his wife, I believe. Yeah, for him and his wife. Oh, Keir Starmer. He could very well win in 2025. I think he's going to be a major force to contend with in the 2025 Clown World of the Year awards. But in 2024, he couldn't quite crack the top 5 list. And finally, the last person on the up-and-coming list has to go to BlackRock Merz. There's going to be an election in Germany on February 23rd. And most likely, Friedrich Merz of the CDU-CSU is going to be the new Chancellor of Germany, most likely. He will have to form some sort of a coalition, either with Pirate Schulz and the SPD, or with Pirate Schulz and the Greens, Annalena and Habeck. But Merz will most likely be the new Chancellor of Germany, and he is going to give us many, many clown worlds. He already started in 2024 when he gave the ultimatum to Russia and Putin. He gave an ultimatum. Either you surrender, this was Merz's ultimatum, either you surrender now, or no, you have 24 hours. You have 24 hours to surrender. This is what he was telling the parliament they should do. So this wasn't exactly directly coming from him, but this was his suggestion to the German parliament. Either Russia surrenders in 24 hours, they capitulate, or we're going to increase sanctions and give the Zelensky regime Taurus missiles. That was his ultimatum to Russia. Frederick Blackrock Mertz. So that is our list of four world leaders that we need to keep an eye out for in 2025, and that could very well make the top 5 Clown World of the Year 2025 list, and who knows, maybe even win it. So let's now move on to the People's Choice Clown World of the Year winners. This was a list, a poll that we had on Locals, the Duran.locals.com. And in this poll, we had 1,300, the last I checked, 1,316 votes. An amazing amount of votes placed for the People's Choice Awards. And amazing picks from the Locals community. Amazing picks. So let's just start with number 5. Number 5 with 8.5% of the votes. Now there was a list of 8. So there was the polls on Locals gives me 8 slots, so I can put up 8 people. That is why I had to limit it to 8. So from the 8, I chose the top 5. And we start with number 5 with 8.5% of the vote goes to Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer at number 5, People's Choice Awards. Number 4 with 13.4% of the votes goes to Volodymyr Zelensky, the Green Goblin, 13.4%. Number 3 with 16.1% of the votes goes to Justin Trudeau. Trudeau, you idiot. Trudeau with 16.1%. And number 2 on the People's Choice list with 19.9% of the votes goes to Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris at number 2. And the winner of the first annual, this is the first time I've done a People's Choice Awards, but the winner of the first annual People's Choice Awards on Locals Clown World of the Year 2024. The winner is with 26.6% of the vote, Joe Biden. The professor wins first place in the Locals People's Choice Awards. What do you say? Was Biden the winner? People's Choice Awards? Next year we'll have the Cat's Choice Awards. See who they pick for the Clown of the Year. All right, let's get to the main event. Let's get to the big main event, which is the top 5 Clown World of the Year winners. And this was really, really tough. We had some epic Clown World moments. We are talking Clown World moments, Clown World events that brought down governments, that demolished political careers. This is the level of the Clown World competition for 2024, and we have to start with number 5. number 5 in the top 5 Clown World of the Year winners. Goes to, number 5 goes to Justin Trudeau. Justin Trudeau, number 5 Clown World of the Year. He has come so close to winning the Clown World, so close, but he just can't get there. He just cannot manage to win the Clown World. He came in second last year, second to Annalena. And this year he had some epic Clown World moments, but the competition was just so fierce that he is number 5 on the list. He called Tucker a Putin apologist. In 2024, he came out as a Taylor Swift fan, as a Swiftie. Remember in Switzerland? Remember at the peace summit in Switzerland? Trudeau, as they were taking the group photo, Trudeau decided to yell, "Slava, Slava Ukraine."
Slava Ukraini!
Oh, Justin Trudeau. My God, he called Putin a weakling. Yeah, he called Putin weak. Remember the video so he calls Putin weak, and then the video surfaced where he was at an event. I think this was a G20 event, and he decided to confront Putin, and he put his hand on Putin, and Putin motioned to security. His security was about to pound Trudeau, and he motioned to security, just don't touch Justin, it's okay. Remember that video? Oh boy, and then he ended the year very strong. He ended the year very, very strong. He completely fell for Trump's trap, his trolling, where he was talking about 25% tariffs and talking about Governor Trudeau in that post on Truth Social. And he completely baited Trudeau, and Trudeau completely fell for it because he is emotional. He is emotional. He's a little boy, and he fell for it. He got on a plane, went to Mar-a-Lago. Trump humiliated him some more. Then he left, went back to Canada, completely freaked out with the 25% tariff statement from Trump, went back to Canada. Trump humiliated him some more, calling him the governor of Canada, and thank you for visiting Mar-a-Lago. And his government imploded. His government imploded. He wanted Chrystia Freeland to go to a different position in the government. She said, "Screw you, I'm going to resign." And his government completely blew apart. And he still refuses to step down. But we are getting more and more people, even within his party, who are urging him to leave. So I believe in 2025, we are going to see the exit of Trudeau. Now, where Trudeau is going to go next, I don't know. He is going to get a very good position somewhere in the globalist architecture. We don't know exactly what position they're going to give him. I imagine he'll have a lot of book deals, maybe even his own movie, maybe his own talk show. I don't know. Managing director of the IMF, who knows where they're going to put Trudeau. But this year, this is going to be the year where the Zelensky curse finally catches up with Trudeau. But this is the third year where Trudeau has been unable to win the Clown World of the Year. Coming in at number 4. At number 4 is Little Napoleon, Emmanuel Macron. The flip-flopper, the ultimate flip-flopper leader of the collective West, president of France. What a year Emmanuel Macron had in 2024. Paris hosted the Olympic Games. What a debacle. What a freaking debacle in Paris. From the opening ceremony and the closing ceremony and the water issue, the sewage, the water issue with the swimmers, the banning of athletes, of Russian athletes, Belarusian athletes. What a debacle the Paris Olympics was. And who can forget Macron's photos where he was working the punching bags. He was working out and he was on the punching bags, on the heavy bag. And it showed an Emmanuel Macron with big bulging muscles and big bulging biceps. Tough guy. Jim Bro Macron. Oh man. And then he started talking about French troops in Odessa. He floated that idea out there, and that gained no traction. Then he brought it up again, peacekeepers in Ukraine, and just trying to get the EU and the French military in Ukraine so that they can take on Russia, take on Putin, and continue the war in Ukraine. And I'm not even getting into all of the reporting from Candace Owens about Macron. I'm not even going to touch that. But he said that Russia must lose. He went on and on in 2024 about how Russia must lose and Russia must be defeated. And he also talked about how Trump will never be president of the United States. He said that he knows, he has some information that Trump will not be president of the United States. Trump will not be allowed to be president of the US. Boy, was he wrong about that one. But yeah, Macron comes in at number 4. He was flip-flopping the whole way through in 2024. Macron, he had his government collapse multiple times, I believe, but he remains as president. He held on as president, even though his government collapsed. His pick for Prime Minister, Barnier, collapsed. Now he has a new Prime Minister. Things are not going well. He's already off to a very, very poor start, his new Prime Minister. And what else highlights Macron's number 4 position? And France got booted out of Africa. They got kicked out of Africa under Macron's watch. And he's very upset, very bitter at that. And he blames the Putin for France getting kicked out of Africa. He's blaming it all on the Putin. And then Lavrov revealed just the other day that as France has been trying to get soldiers, European soldiers in Ukraine and escalate with Russia, Macron has also been using diplomatic back channels to try and negotiate with Russia behind Zelensky's back. Flip-flopper Macron, the ultimate flip-flopper. And I'm sure there are many flip-flopper moments from Macron that I'm just simply forgetting. So Macron at number 4. And we now move into the top 3. The top 3. What a list, what a top 3 we have. And at number 3, it has to be Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, without a doubt, is number 3 on this list.
We have dreams. We can see what is possible, unburdened by what has been.
She decided to take over. She was chosen to take over when Biden was coup d'etat by Obama and Pelosi and Clinton and Schumer, Kamala got the nod to run for president and to take on Trump. And boy, was the gaslighting from the collective West media about Kamala Harris, boy, was it off the charts. Off the freaking charts. Kamala Harris, the worst politician, the worst candidate for president, the worst politician we have ever seen. She is just not meant for politics. Her word salads, many word salad speeches and statements, unburdened by what has been, which has been burdened by what could be unburdened. My God.
AI is kind of a fancy thing. First of all, it's 2 letters. It means artificial intelligence.
She attended the Peace Summit in Switzerland, and she went for a day, for an afternoon or something. She went there, she gave a speech, and then she took off. She paid celebrities to endorse her, and Beyonce was paid to endorse Kamala Harris, and everyone thought that Beyonce was going to give a concert at one of her events. And Beyonce just appeared at the event, gave a 2-minute speech, and then took off, and everyone was pissed off. Everyone was upset. They came to the Kamala Harris event because they thought it was going to be a Beyonce concert. Nope, it didn't happen. She spent over $1 billion on her campaign, and was actually $20 million in debt when it was all said and done. $20 million in debt. Kamala Harris actually believed that it would be a good idea for the neocons and for the Cheney family to endorse her, Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney. She thought this was a good idea to be endorsed by the neocons. And then you had the whole McDonald's thing, where she said that she worked at McDonald's, and then they tried to provide some photo evidence of her working in McDonald's, and it turned out to be a fake photo of a different person who had been working at McDonald's, and they cut off her head, replaced her head, or used AI to fabricate a photo that this was Kamala Harris, but it wasn't. Man. Yeah, she's well deserving of number 3, the number 3 position on the clown world list. No doubt about it. And now we get to the top 2. The top 2. And I have to tell you, these 2 world leaders, to me, they complete each other. They're inseparable in 2024. And the one world leader would provide clown world energy to the other. And so this was very much a team effort. I cannot imagine one of these world leaders without the other in 2024, and they would never have been able to make the clown world list if one of them was not around. So they very much needed each other. They very much fed off of each other's clown world energy, and that is why they are in the top 2. They are in the top 2, and number 2 goes to the Green Goblin, Zelensky. Zelensky, a well-deserving number 2. He started off the year strong. He ended the year strong. He was consistent. He had some epic clown world moments. He made terrible, catastrophic decisions. Zelensky panicked, always panicked. Someone who in 2023 was very popular. Everyone was booking Zelensky to give his act, his shows in their parliaments in 2022 and 2023. He was a very hot act. The comedian was very sought after. In 2024, the wheels came off, and his constant requests for more money and more weapons turned off a lot of people. And I have to say that in 2024, Zelensky probably became one of the most, if not the most, despised politicians in the world, including by his own citizens. His own citizens do not want him as president anymore. We don't even know if he is the legitimate president, according to Russia and according to the Ukraine constitution, as the Russian government interprets it, as their lawyers and their professionals interpret the Ukraine constitution. Zelensky is not even the legitimate president. There should have been an election, which was canceled. So Zelensky is at number 2. He started off the year. Everyone became sick of Zelensky. Everyone became sick of him. No more bookings, no more parliament appearances. That all went away. So he started the year with his statement that Putin is going to eat the West. Putin is going to eat you, he said. That's how he started the year, giving an interview saying Putin is going to eat you. And then he went on about his victory plan, which when he revealed his victory plan, he finally reveals he's talking about his victory plan for 6 months, man. He doesn't stop about his victory plan, my victory plan, my victory plan, my victory plan. And then when he reveals his victory plan, it was a nothing. It was a nothing burger, man. It was like a wish list. I want to get into NATO. We will defeat Russia. We will get into NATO. Give me more money. Give me more weapons. That was his victory plan. More money, more weapons. We defeat Russia and we get into NATO. That's my victory plan. And even the other collective West leaders were completely stunned, taken aback at the stupidity of his victory plan. Even collective West world leaders were saying this is not a plan. This is not even close to a plan. This is a wish list. That's what they said. They said this victory plan is a wish list. Money, weapons, NATO. That was his victory plan. And nukes. He started talking about Ukraine getting nuclear weapons. That was also a part of his victory plans. Long-range missiles, weapons, nuclear weapons. All of these things is what he started to ask for in his victory plan. He actually ended up getting the long-range missiles, courtesy of Bidenopolis. But yeah, his victory plan. My God, that was funny. His victory plan when he revealed it. And then, of course, we have the peace summit. We will have a peace summit. The peace summit without Russia. Russia's not invited to the peace summit. What was the plan for the peace summit? The peace summit. The plan was that all these countries would gather together in Switzerland. Russia, the plan was that all of these countries would agree that Russia must capitulate, it must surrender. Everything has to go. Russia must give up everything, including Crimea. And what else? There would be tribunals, there would be reparations, 300 billion in frozen assets would go to Zelensky. All of these things were going to be decided in Switzerland at the peace summit. And Russia was invited. Eventually, Switzerland invited them, but they were not allowed to participate. They would have to sit in some back room. And then all of the collective West countries, all the countries participating in the summit would call Russia into the room, and they would just give them the outcome of the summit and the terms, and Russia was supposed to accept this. That was the peace summit. And this summit went so bad. This was such a disaster that even Switzerland, when they were asked to hold a second peace summit, Switzerland said no. We don't want to host any of this stuff. We don't want any second peace summit, they said. and then when they had the list of signatures that were signing on to the document for the peace summit, and they were getting all the signatures, They didn't even have a real paper document. It was an electronic form where you pretty much click the checkbox to say that you agree with the communique. That's what it's called, the communique. You agree with the communique of the peace summit, right? And people would just click a checkbox, and you had countries clicking the checkbox saying they agreed, and then they would change their mind and unclick the checkbox, and that was the communique from the peace summit, Podolyak peace summit. He was angry with Biden. He was angry with Biden in the beginning of the year. And cats have a great life here, man. And he was not getting the $60 billion because it was being held up by Congress. Eventually, Mike Johnson, with the approval of Trump's approval, Mike Johnson eventually approved the $60 billion to Zelensky, but he was upset with Biden, very upset. He said Biden's weak. He's weak. He's not getting me the $60 billion. So he was angry with Biden. Then he got the $60 billion, and then he was happy with Biden. Biden, we are friends now. We are friends now. Thank you for the $60 billion. And then he traveled to the United States, and Biden actually apologized to Zelensky for not getting the money to him quicker. He actually apologized in front of the American people. The president of the United States apologized to Zelensky because he delayed in getting $60 billion to Project Ukraine. Man, was that embarrassing. But yeah, he was angry with Biden. Then he made up with Biden.
I'm not going to walk away from you. I apologize for those weeks of not knowing what's going to happen in terms of funding, because we had trouble getting the bill that we had to pass that had the money in it from some of our very conservative members who were holding it up.
He was angry with Orban. He still is angry with Orban. He's angry with Fico. He was angry with Trump. Angry with Trump because Trump is talking about the ceasefire and meeting with Putin, and then he's kissing Trump's butt. So he's angry with Trump one day, then he kisses Trump's butt the next day and says that he'll be able to work with Trump. He's all over the place, man. He is all over the place. Even Lavrov said in an interview the other day that we just don't even listen to the guy anymore. We don't even listen to anything he says. That is what Lavrov said. He was angry with Jared Leto, the rock star, the actor rock star, for what's the group, 30 Seconds to Mars, because Jared Leto at a concert in Belgrade said that they're going to one day give a concert in Moscow again. So he got upset with Jared Leto. Man, Zelensky. Oh boy, he was angry with everybody. Angry with everybody. It was the victory plan, though. The victory plan, the peace summit. Boy, did that give me never-ending clown world material for 2024. Yeah, so Zelensky at number 2. No doubt about it. He's at number 2. And now we get to number 1. And I'm sure everyone has figured it out. Who is the Clown World of the Year winner? And without a doubt, it goes to Professor Biden. Joe Biden, without a doubt, gets the Clown World of the Year award. Professor Biden, where do I begin? Where do I begin? Well, look, Biden had the most epic Clown World moment. The most defining, epic Clown World moment, which was the debate meltdown. Changed the world, right? Changed the trajectory, the course of world events. Debating Trump. For some reason, Biden didn't get his medicine or the right dose of medicine. I don't know what happened. Maybe he was sabotaged or something happened. I have no clue. I have no idea. But man, that meltdown during the debate, that meltdown changed everything. It changed everything. And then we had the coup d'etat Biden resigning. Allegedly, Biden resigns via tweet with a post on X, some letter that was drafted that allegedly he signed and posted on X. That's how the president of the United States resigned or stepped aside, dropped out of the campaign. Actually, is more accurate. Decides not to run and drops out of the campaign, opening up the path for Kamala Harris via X post after Obama and Pelosi and Schumer and all of them, according to reports, urged Biden to step aside. Clooney and his open letter, telling Biden to step aside for Kamala Harris. Man, that was history changing. I mean, that changed the entire course of 2024. It changed everything for 2024. So without a doubt, Biden is number one. And of course, Biden and Project Ukraine, Biden and Zelensky, you cannot separate the two. You cannot separate the two in 2024. Clown World of the Year, Zelensky, Clown World of the Year, Biden, they fed off of each other. They fed off of each other's clown energy. So yeah, the debate meltdown, an absolutely huge event. Remember when he spoke to the media and they were trying to push Navalnaya, Yulia Navalnaya, and he said Yolanda. He said Yolanda Navalny. Man, the guy was clueless as he was allegedly campaigning for Kamala Harris, allegedly. That's when we saw evil genius Biden come out, because he was so bitter and upset at being removed that he was allegedly campaigning for Kamala, but every appearance that he would make would sabotage Kamala Harris. And he was at one event, I believe in Pennsylvania, where he was given a MAGA hat, and he actually wore the MAGA hat with a smile. Evil genius Biden sabotaging the Harris campaign with every opportunity to sabotage Harris. He took it. He absolutely took it. After the debate, the video of his wife, Dr. Jill, speaking to his supporters, was treating him like a child. Congratulations, Joe. You answered every question. Biden was just clueless, man.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts.
That was sad. That was sad to watch, man. Absolutely sad to watch. Or the G7, where he wandered off multiple times. Multiple times he would just wander off, and all the other G7 leaders would just be looking on, going, what is going on here? What's wrong with this guy? And there's so many more. There are so many more. And of course you had, well, I'll leave this for the Clown World moment of the year, because you had probably the greatest Clown World event that happened, and that's my Clown World moment of the year. So that's the top 5, everybody. Clown World 2024, an epic year, an amazing year. A horrific year, a tragic year. But history was made in 2024, and I believe that 2025 will be even more interesting. Hopefully it will be a better year, a more peaceful year. But I think we're in for some very difficult days ahead. So I will be here. I will be doing videos as I do every day. In 2024, I missed one day. I didn't do a video one day. But I will be with you every day. I will try to be with you every day. And my goal is to try and report the news, to give accurate information. I don't always get it right. I mess up a lot, but I do try to correct myself. And I try my best to give accurate information. I'm one person, so I try my best to research and read and give accurate information. And most importantly for me, as we enter 2025, the most important thing, my number one goal is to make everyone smile and laugh, because times are extremely difficult. So if you watch my videos and I'm acting silly and I'm acting I'm acting a bit crazy or I say something dumb and I get made fun of a lot, that's fine. But as long as I can just make you smile even for the day in these difficult times, then that's worth it, in my opinion. And that is one of my main goals in doing this channel: information and to bring some happiness in a difficult world. So I leave you today from Limassol with the Clown World moment of the year. And this Clown World moment brings it all together. It brings it all freaking together. I'm going to actually play the video. It's about a 10-minute video. I was in Moscow. I was at Chisty Prudi when I recorded this video. I was in front of a building that needs some renovation. But Chisty Prudi is beautiful. It is a beautiful area. One of my favorite areas in Moscow. I'm always hanging out at Chisty Prudi for some reason. But hey, buddy, hope you're enjoying the day. But yeah, I stood in front of this building, a beautiful renovated building to my left, and the pond, the Chisty Prudi pond, straight ahead. And the story was the big boy NATO conference, and then the big boy press conference. That was the story. And this was following Biden's meltdown at the debate, and the whole world was waiting and watching to see if Biden would successfully host a NATO event. All the world leaders were there, so this brought everything together. All the world leaders were there. All the NATO members were there. Biden had the meltdown at the debates. Everyone was watching to see if he would make it. Karine Jean-Pierre said this would be a big boy conference. John Kirby said this would be a big boy conference. Biden would show that he is a big boy. They actually labeled it. They branded it the big boy press conference and the big boy NATO event. And Zelensky was there. And it was epic. The media was there and it was epic. It was perhaps the greatest clown world ever, because it just brought everything together. It really brought everything freaking together. Biden called Zelensky Putin, President Putin. He then got questions from reporters and called Kamala Harris. He said the vice president was Trump. He said Vice President Trump instead of Kamala Harris. We had memes coming out with Zelensky meeting Kamala, and Kamala Harris says, "Nice to meet you, President Putin." And Zelensky says, "Nice to meet you, Vice President Trump." We had all kinds of memes coming out after that gaffe. And Biden said that he consults with the commander-in-chief every day. And the media was just looking at Biden saying, you're the commander-in-chief, bro. That's you. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into it anymore. It was an epic event. All the world leaders were there. It followed up on the epic meltdown during the debate. It was the big boy conference. And this is me over the summer in Moscow talking about this event. This is a long video. It's been a long awards ceremony. Thank you for sticking with me. And I will see everybody tomorrow. Here is the Clown World moment of the year 2024. Take care. This is my video update on this Friday morning, July the 12th. Let's talk about some news. and we have got to start things off with President Joe Biden at the NATO event, the NATO press conference, which morphed into the Biden Big Boy press conference. And President Biden, in front of all the prime ministers and presidents of NATO member states, was set to introduce Zelensky and oh, you can't make this up. And Biden confuses Zelensky with President Putin. This is the top of Biden gaffes meets the top of Zelensky clown worlds at the NATO event in Washington, D.C., marking their 75th anniversary with all of the NATO member state presidents and prime ministers in attendance. And you've got to imagine in the audience, you probably had all the top think tankers with all the top military industrial complex CEOs, all of them in the audience. And President Biden introduces Zelensky as President Putin. and Zelensky's face, oh my God, Zelensky's face, priceless. Olaf Scholz's reaction, Keir Starmer's reaction. Oh man. Some people in the audience started clapping as Biden was set to introduce Zelensky, and he says President Putin, a determined President Putin, and Zelensky's face. This tops. This absolutely tops the Lithuania NATO event where Zelensky's wife was having a really good time and everyone was ignoring Zelensky as he was dressed in his green outfit, and the memes that came out of that event. This tops that. You cannot make up a better clown world. You cannot script a better clown world than what we saw happen yesterday. Oh my God. And then Biden tried to correct himself. He said something like, I'm so used to being focused on beating Putin. I'm so focused on beating Putin. President Zelensky, everybody. And then Zelensky says, I'm better. Biden says, President Zelensky, and Zelensky says, I'm better. And Biden says, you sure are.
And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. He's going to beat President Putin. President Zelensky. I'm so focused on beating Putin, we got to worry about it. Anyway, Mr. President.
I'm better.
You are a hell of a lot better.
Peak clown world. This is a peak clown world event. At the NATO 75th anniversary in Washington, D.C., the President of the United States mixes up Zelensky and Putin. And keep in mind, all of this, everything that's going on, this NATO press conference, the big boy press conference that was set to follow, all of this is about making everyone feel comfortable with Biden as president. It's about rehabilitating Biden after his disastrous debate performance and all the gaffes that followed his debate performance. So all of this is very structured, very scripted, very controlled, and it's supposed to make everybody feel confident. All the world leaders, all the NATO leaders are supposed to feel very confident about Biden. Oh, man. Zelensky's face. So, well, let me read you exactly what Biden said before I move on. Let me read you what he said. And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. Oh, man. the president of Finland, Mr. Stubb, Alexander Stubb or Stubb or whatever his name is, he actually told the media that Biden has the capacity to lead the U.S. and he feels confident with Biden. Oh my God. Let's see, do I have any more quotes from EU leaders? Macron told reporters that we all make lapses. Schultz said, slips of tongue do happen. That's what Pirate Schultz said. A man who had to wear an eye patch after a jogging event, the Chancellor of Germany, Pirate Schultz. Slips of tongue do happen. Keir Starmer, the most boring politician in the entire world, he urged people to look at the substance of what's been achieved and said Biden deserves credit as a host. Keir Starmer hugged Zelensky during this NATO summit. So the Zelensky curse, it now has Keir Starmer, the Zelensky curse. Keir Starmer couldn't resist the scent of Zelensky number 5. He had to hug Zelensky. Or should we say President Putin? Oh my God. I'm better. That was Zelensky's reaction. I'm better. Hey, Podolyak, why does this man call me President Putin? Hey, Podolyak, why does this man call me the Putin? And Zelensky was dressed in his best black shirt for the event, you know. He got dressed up. Zelensky got dressed up so that Biden can call him Putin. Oh, boy. And you know what? It didn't end there. The Biden mix-ups and the Biden gaffes only got better. Hard to believe, huh? It only gets better, or worse, if you're Joe Biden. So, the big boy conference, the big boy press conference, followed the NATO press conference, and this is Biden's make or break moment, right? If Biden does well, then the Democrat Party, they will have a renewed confidence in Joe Biden, and they will forget the debate disaster. So this is a really big deal for Biden and the Biden oligarchy. And so he comes out back on stage to speak to the media that's assembled at this event, at this auditorium. He was 50 minutes late, something like 50 minutes to an hour and 20 minutes late. I guess they were pumping him up with whatever they needed to pump him up with so he could make it through this big boy press conference. He speaks for 8 minutes. He got through it fairly well, his 8-minute speech, no big deal. And the big boy press conference lasted for a total of 50 minutes. So the entire big boy event was 59 minutes. It was Biden speaking for 8 minutes, and then he took questions for about another 50 minutes. He took about 11 questions. This was the big boy press conference. Compare that to Putin, who speaks for 3 or 4 hours. Yeah, that's considered a big boy press conference for Joe Biden. 11 questions, 50 minutes speaking to the media, and an 8-minute speech. Everything, once again, very controlled, very scripted. Biden even took out a list of reporters that he was going to call on. He actually announced it. He said, here's my list of reporters that I'm going to call on. Now, if he has a list of the reporters that he's going to call on, there's no doubt that he also had the questions that the reporters were going to ask him ahead of time.
With that, I'll take your questions. I've been given a list of people to call on here.
That's how the entire Biden presidency has been running. Everything scripted, everything controlled. Even CNN ran a story the other day, and CNN said that before Biden has meetings with staffers, check this out, before Biden actually holds a meeting with White House staffers, even the staffers have to provide Biden's handlers with the questions that they're going to ask him. Not the media or the press, Biden's own team, before they meet with Biden, they have to hand over the questions and the topics that they're going to discuss with him so he can be prepared. Everything is scripted. Everything is very tightly controlled when it comes to Professor Biden. So he pulls out his list of reporters that are going to ask him questions, and the first question he gets is about Kamala Harris, and if he steps down, is Kamala Harris ready, and why not step down if Kamala Harris, if you really have confidence in Kamala Harris? Anyway, that's the question that he got. First question. And Biden confuses Kamala Harris with Trump. He says, Vice President Trump. I have confidence in Vice President Trump, or something like that. And he doesn't correct himself. He has no idea that he has just mixed up Kamala Harris with Trump.
I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president. So let's start there. Number one.
Vice President Trump is what Biden said. And the memes that are now coming out. Oh my God. Oh my God. Zelensky meeting with Kamala Harris, and the memes. Nice to meet you, President Putin. Nice to meet you, Vice President Trump. Yeah, we all make mistakes. We all mix up names and mix up dates. I do it all the time. But I'm not the president of the United States, and I don't have a staff of 10 or 20 people, and I don't have a teleprompter, and I don't have the notes in front of me, a note card. Oh my God. Yeah. Vice President Trump. Oh boy. Trump posted on Truth Social, Crooked Joe begins his big boy press conference with, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, though I think she was not qualified to be president. Great job, Joe. CNBC, they read an article with the title, Biden loses his train of thought, calls Harris Vice President Trump in solo press conference. And some of the media is actually trying to pass this press conference off as being a success. The Washington Post, they're saying Biden shows foreign policy depth in news conference with few stumbles. No, he had a lot of stumbles, and he had big stumbles. You could not have had a bigger or worse stumble than what Biden had. Confusing Zelensky with Putin and confusing Harris with Trump. I mean, you can't think of a bigger stumble than that. Those are the two biggest stumbles you could imagine. Yeah. I can't believe what I saw yesterday. I can't believe it. I really, really cannot believe it. And that was the first question that he got. And he made a whole lot of other gaffes. A whole lot of other gaffes. He talked about getting advice from the commander-in-chief. He said, I take my advice from the commander-in-chief, something like that. And everyone's just like, you are the commander-in-chief. What are you talking about? You get your advice or you listen to the commander-in-chief. You are the commander-in-chief. Let me see if I have the quote for that one. Oh boy. No, I don't have the quote handy for that one. But I'll play the video for you guys.
I'm following the advice of my commander-in-chief, the chief of staff of the military, as well as the Secretary of Defense and our intelligence people.
So yeah, that's Biden talking about getting advice, consulting from the commander-in-chief. He listens to the commander-in-chief. Biden blamed his debate performance on his staff. There's that one. He said, my staff, they just keep on adding stuff in my notes. They just keep on feeding me information. And that's what makes things so confusing. It's all that information that the staff adds to his preparation. He's over-prepared. That's why he messed up on the debate. And he said it was his traveling. It was all the travel. The trip to France. That's tough. That's tough. Flying on Air Force One, on a plane with a nice big bed, private bathroom. Yeah, that's a tough trip. Oh man, he said that threw him off. All the travel and his staff adding all of the additional information into his preparation. Yeah, that's what made him have a bad debate performance. He broke out the whisper voice as well, that creepy whisper voice. That creeps everyone out.
Me. No one's saying that. No poll says that.
It was a disaster event for Biden, a disaster big boy press conference. Oh man, let's see. Is there anything else? Is there anything else that I need to cover from this NATO disaster event? Yeah. The first conference that they gave, the first event in that auditorium on the 9th of July to start things off, where everything looked like a funeral. It was like a big funeral event. You knew that from that first day that this NATO conference kicked off, you knew that this was going to be a disaster. It was obvious that this was going to be a train wreck. It started off as a train wreck, and boy, did it end as a train wreck. Blinken's face, Blinken in Austin, but Blinken's face when Biden said, Vice President Trump, oh boy, priceless. It reminded me of Blinken's reaction when Biden called Xi Jinping a dictator. Remember Blinken's reaction then? It was the same reaction. Biden says, Vice President Trump, and Blinken is sitting there in the first row. And you know Blinken's, what's going through Blinken's head? You had the questions ahead of time. We pumped you up with all kinds of things to get you through this 50 minutes. You can do it, Joe. You can do it. Blinken's sitting there. You can do it. You can do it. And the first question's about Vice President Kamala Harris, and Blinken's thinking, okay, we went over this 20 times. Joe, you can do this. Vice President Harris, she can do the job. Just say it, Joe. Vice President Harris, she's prepared to do the job. I would not have picked Vice President Harris if I didn't think she could do the job. And that's what Blinken's saying. And Biden is about to answer the question. And he says, Vice President Trump. And Blinken's face, he was, oh. Oh.
I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president. So let's start there. Number one, the fact is that the consideration is...
Biden said, I love my staff, but they add things. They add things all the time at the very end. I'm catching hell from my wife. Yeah, his staff always adds things. Damn it, staff. Stop adding things. You're confusing me. I'm following the advice of my commander-in-chief. There we go. I found the quote. I'm following the advice of my commander-in-chief. That's you. That's you. You are the commander-in-chief. Anyway. I should probably end the video. I should probably stop the video. Do we have any more news to get to? Oh boy.